Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. But I wanted to film this video before I filmed my Montauk video because they're kind of basically both kind of creepy-ish. So today is January 3rd, 2023 when I am filming this video. I am filming this video because last week my parents were in Tennessee on vacation from the 26th to the 27th, 28th. That meant that I was alone in the house with my nephew who lives here with us as well. He's 3 years older than me. He works a full-time job and we had the house to ourselves all last week up until like 4 p.m. on last Friday. I'm filming this video because I know for a fact my dad is home. There's no one else. I'm not in an empty house. But I needed to film this video because I uploaded a video like a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I don't know, of my like recent paranormal experiences or like what I had basically stated, okay? This is a paranormal update. So, real quick, want to specify, the first story I'm going to tell you is I heard a voice yell my name, okay? My house, the house I live in, is like 100 and some years old. It's just creepy. Like it's an old enough house that it's creepy. My dad's done a lot of renovation to it. The only room that is really what it looked like when the house was first built is the living room and my room. So like my room is basically the only room that genuinely is the same. Yeah, I've painted the walls, but I've done no major renovation to it. I've not busted out a wall or anything like that. But my dad renovated the house like a few years ago and like completely renovated half the house. And like it was pretty soon after he did that like some strange shit started happening. But I've heard my name be called like once or twice while I'm upstairs in like my room, and it'll be like when I'm home alone and the door to downstairs will be shut and it's my sister's voice, my dead sister. My nephew has a shit sleep schedule and he didn't work last Monday, so it was just me and him in the house all day and he was sleeping most of the day. And he went up and he went with my brother somewhere. That meant I was left alone in the house. I went to let my dog outside, and as me and my dog were walking from our living room, there's a doorway that leads into the kitchen, and then we have another doorway that leads into a big kitchen where it's our dining room in a sense. But when you're in the first kitchen, there's also another doorway that leads you into like our toy room area, and then the hallway to the bathroom, and there's another hallway with the laundry room and the pantry, and then there's a breezeway. There's a doorway to a breezeway, and then there's stairs to the basement. It's fucking creepy. Our basement, my dad has also renovated. It's fucking creepy down there. There's all sorts of shit. Like, I've heard shit come from the basement. So I was walking from the living room through the kitchens to go to the back sliding glass door to let my dog out. We're in the kitchen, I'm about halfway in, and I hear my mom, who left that morning at like 4:30 in the morning, yell for me from the basement. Probably. Mom and Dad are gone, right? They're in Tennessee right now. And JD just left with Bub. I'm walking through the house to go let June back in, because JD let her out before he left. And I'm walking past the toy room, and I hear Gail. It was Mom's voice, for one, and it was coming from the basement. What the fuck? I quite literally stopped in the middle of the kitchen and thought to myself, that's weird. Fuck that. And I continued out to let my dog out. I sent Shelby a Snapchat. I will put the Snapchat in. I saved it because I was like, I've not had that experience ever. I've heard a voice that was my sister's voice. I've just heard a gruff male voice. I've never heard my mother's voice yell for me, and especially from the basement, and especially since I knew she was gone. Like, I knew she'd already told me she was in Tennessee. So, go about my day. I have a weird vibe for the rest of the day. My nephew goes back to work on Tuesday. I'm in the house by myself from 6:30 in the morning till about 5:30 in the afternoon. I'm completely kind of on edge about this whole thing. Okay? And nothing happens. Tuesday goes by normal. Wednesday comes by, and on Wednesdays we have a girls' night and the guys have a guys' night, which means that me, my niece Shelby, my niece Anna, my mom, and my great niece Nova, we go out, have a girls' night. The guys, which mean my nephew who lives with me, my nephew who lives across the street, my brother, and my dad, they go out and have a guys' night. Wednesday rolls around, and my mom is getting out of town. My niece Anna, she was busy doing stuff, so it was just me and Shelby. And while I was waiting for Shelby to pick me up to go get McDonald's, Steven, which is my nephew who lives across the street, came over. We sat for a little bit. I left to go to town with Shelby, and on our way home from McDonald's, I told Shelby about, the incident and how Wednesday morning I woke up and I had slept in my parents' bed to hopefully help my dog cope with the fact that they were gone. And I woke up in my parents' bedroom and I had not been able to sleep the night before because where their bed is situated, their doorway is like right across from, like, if I rolled over, there it is. So scared I was gonna open my eyes and it's gonna be like a child at the edge of the bed or someone standing in the doorway. But I told her, I was like, when I was laying in bed, when I wake up in the morning, I kind of just lay there for a few minutes before I roll over and get my phone. And it sounded like somebody was downstairs, like shuffling around. And I was like, that's weird because it's 11 o'clock in the morning. My nephew is at work. So I was telling Shelby this, and Shelby was like, oh, that's fucking weird. Like, so we go inside. I tell Steven quite literally everything that had happened to me the last few days. And he goes, that's weird because when you left to go with Shelby, my dog got really uneasy and Steven said he heard shuffling coming from the basement. This immediately freaks me and Shelby and Steven out. So we go towards the basement, and on going down to the basement, there are stairs that lead right to a doorway, but there's a little area at the end of the stairs. It leads to like a little alcove. It's like underneath the stairs. I don't know how to put it, but there's a second door to the basement on that side. It's always shut, and this door at the bottom of the stairs is always open. But this door on the side is always shut. And I just naturally looked over, and the door was about that far open. That freaked me out. I was like, I have not been in the basement but once, and I don't go through that door because it's somewhat blocked. You can't really get in. Went to the basement to see if we had like laundry detergent. Monday. It's Wednesday. That door was shut when I walked down there. My nephew, who lives with me, has not been in the basement because he would quite literally come home, get food, and go to his bedroom and not come out until he took a shower. Simple as that. Like, no one had been in the basement, and neither had my brother. My brother had gone over to the little balcony thing we have that my dad puts his stuff on. So I'm a little freaked out. I'm like, this door should not be open. It should be shut. This freaks Shelby out just a tiny bit more. And I'm like, okay, we need to wait until JD, which is my oldest nephew who lives here, wait for him to get home, because we're sending his ass down first because he's older than all of us. And he's 6 foot something and 200 pounds. He's a little bit more intimidating than Steven, me, or Shelby, or even Nova, who's a year and a half old. So JD gets home, and immediately I tell him about hearing my mom's voice, hearing someone shuffle around the house, and he quite literally goes, thank God I thought I was going crazy, because he had been hearing shit too. So he was telling us, he was like, he's started to lock his bedroom door at night because he will hear someone walk from where the basement is, walk up into the living room, into his door. His door is right, there's 2 doors that lead upstairs, and then the next door leads into his room downstairs. They're next to each other. He goes, and it sounds like someone walks into the living room, walks up, and stops directly outside my door. That's fucking creepy, just a little bit. And then he says he'll be like laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and his bedroom is right above like a basement, the basement, and there's an extra empty room in the basement that he is supposed to move into once it's like completely renovated, and that's gonna be his bedroom. But he says that he sometimes goes to sleep and hears what sounds like someone banging their head against the wall. So he's like reiterating what he's been hearing to me and Shelby and Steven. And I go, oh my God, there's something in this house. if you've ever watched any of my prior paranormal experiences, I have not had any like paranormal experiences that have really unsettled. I haven't had a paranormal experience that really unsettled me since like 2018, I believe, my like freshman year of high school. During the summer, I was staying up late and I quite literally couldn't pull the covers up from the corner, sat up to grab the covers out of the corner of my bed, and saw what looked like a person at the end of my bed. I heard somebody say my name really gruff in the middle of the night, and it freaked me out because it came right from the edge of my bed. And I remember, like, I posted that video. My niece Anna told her dad, who is a preacher, and he came and he was like, there's something in this house. This is what you need to do. I got rid of whatever the hell was there. Okay? So this time, I'm calling my brother out a little bit for this because bullshit. I'm asking my brother, like, could you do something about this? Like, could you bless the house? Could you do something? He's like, no. And like Shelby and Steven are confused by this too. He goes, because you're just gonna invite it back in. And I was like, me? I have quite literally had nothing happen to me in over a year, other than like occasional hearing knocks on the wall or like the fucking floor creaking, which is normal. It's an old house. I have not had something this unsettling happen since I was a freshman in high school. I've graduated high school. Like it's been a while. And so I was like, this is weird. And he goes, it's because of that show. And I'm like, what show? And he's like, the one that, you watch all the time. And I go, Supernatural? I have not watched an episode of Supernatural, and I'll be honest with you, in about a month and a half. This is confusing to me because I'm like, I'm apparently the one inviting this into my house? No, I don't want no poltergeist activity in my house. I don't want my mom calling for me from the basement when she's in a whole different state. What I want is this out of my house. So the guys actually leave. Shelby and I are left in the house, and Shelby and I are like kind of distracting ourselves from whatever is there. I'm crying to Shelby going, my brother won't even help me try to get rid of this thing. And Shelby has her back to the pretty room, which is when you come into our house, it's our living room. There's a doorway that takes you into a pretty room that has a couch and a fireplace, and it's where our Christmas tree is right now. Pitch black in this room. I think I've told the story about how I saw someone walk from one corner to the other corner of the exact same room while I was home alone. And I was like looking at Shelby because I was sitting on this couch and she was sitting here on this couch with Nova, and I like kind of just over Shelby's head see like two, I don't want to say eyes because it could have been like where I'd been crying and my like the light hitting my eyes just right that it created something. I didn't mean to freak Shelby out, but I go, there's something. I stopped talking about whatever I've been talking about and stared behind her, and I said, there's something in there. And I whispered it, and she grabbed Nova and like walked over to me and where I was sitting, and she's like, Sarah, you can't do that. And I was like, it could just be the light fucking with me. I don't know. After we talked about all that, nothing has happened since, at least to me. I don't know if anything's happened to JD. I'm not going to ask him, but we did tell my parents when they came home. My parents are both very religious. My mom doesn't believe in the whole ghost realm thing. My dad is somewhat believes about it because he's had incidences where it's happened. But I had to get that off my chest because I've been like, I need to make a video about this because I know a lot of people are going to be like, the more you talk about it, the more it happens to you and blah, blah, blah. I make a video about every year, like once a year talking about these things because not a lot of stuff happens to me when I am home. You know what I mean? I'm quite literally the only person who's home all day, Monday through Friday, because both my parents work, my nephew works, I work part-time as a babysitter, I have 2 days off a week. I'm the only one that's really home. And then like the other 3 days of the week, I have a child here, I have a 4-year-old with me, all day. I'm not by myself and there's nothing happening. But it was just the fact that the moment that my parents left, the moment my dad and my mom, two very most religious people in the household, left, both JD and I started to hear things, and hearing my mom, that freaked me out because I've always heard that if you hear someone say your name and they're not there, don't go towards the voice, don't actually interact with the voice, ignore it completely, and just go about your day because it could quite literally be something that is not good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in the whole paranormal thing. I do believe in ghosts, and I do believe in demons, and I do believe in angels. I believe in God just a little bit different than my own family. I believe that there is a life after ours. But what I don't like about that is the fact that something could be attached to you, something could follow you wherever you go. And when we were discussing that, all that happening on Wednesday, Shelby, ironic enough, said, I think it followed JD, because JD did not live with us until July of last year. And where he was living, Shelby stayed. That was where my aunt lived. Shelby had stayed there a few times and was like, there was something in that, that home, because it's just fucking creepy. To me, having not known what happened where he lived prior, I really hope that was just my bed. I don't know. I could have followed JD. It could have just been something that lied dormant, waiting for my parents or the more religious people in the household to leave. I don't know. But I do know that I needed to get that off my chest. Because the last 2 days I've been watching Mr. Ballin and him just like talking about scary stories, that I felt better enough good enough about it to talk about it. Because I also knew that I wasn't the only one. I'm not home alone. I'm here with my dad is here. So I quite literally feel a little bit better about the whole situation, which I'm very grateful for. But yeah, nothing's happened since. Very grateful for that. It is Tuesday of the next week. Nothing has happened to me. I don't know if anything's happened to JD. Don't know if anything's happened to, my parents since they've been home. I don't think anything has, but it's been very quiet, and I will continue to update you guys if anything happens with this ghost. So, bye. See you guys later. Hello, everybody. This is like a few days after I filmed my paranormal storytime video, and I want to talk about this because I had another instance happen 2 nights ago when I got out of the shower. I'm so scared I'm gonna see something behind me. Hello? Anybody there? Probably shouldn't say that because something may show up. But the other night, oh my god, you see my hair? It's frizzy. I got out of the shower, and usually my dad is still awake, and he's like sitting on the couch. And when you come out of our bathroom, it's like a little hallway that leads down to the the kitchen that has a doorway into the living room. It was like, I opened the door expecting to hear like the TV, and it was like dead silence. And I was like, oh, Dad must be in bed. And I turned my head to look towards the living room to see if a light was on. No light was on, but on the doorway, so like on the edge of something like this, like how like you could see someone's hand peek over that. I don't know what else to say, but like something peeked, like a hand, like was, I don't know how to put it here. Let me show you with my Gatorade bottle and my cookie, just how this went. So this is the doorway. I'm over where you guys are. You or me. And a hand was like on the doorway like that, about that far out, and it like just back into the living room, and I quite literally freaked myself out, and I got everything I needed to like take up here to go to bed, and I freaked out, man. I'm home alone telling you guys this, and I just had to say it because it's been 2 nights. It was 2 nights ago, and nothing's happened since, but it happened after I filmed my paranormal video, the original part. So the video you guys just saw, this is after it, like a few days after I filmed that, and I kind of regret filming it now because now more stuff's starting to happen. What do I do? I hope you guys enjoyed the video though. Bye.